Yo, 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 what's up, guys? This is Slavic. I'm back for another sh just a shorter video this time. It's about the world's first artificial AI or artificial intelligence human brain computer. You guys won't believe this. I could not actually believe this has actually been released. I knew this was in the movies and like the Matrix and the Terminator, you know how like it's a silicon based machine and it has exoskeleton human skin on it like or the Terminator. But now in real life we have the scientists at this company called Cortical Labs have created a first commercial computer that's like $35,000 with human brain cells. This is like I'm not even kidding you. So here it goes. So you have um so I'll show you really quick, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to move it. But so you have the world's first computer being created with um, artificial AI. It's an AI computer, but it's being created with brain cells. And if I can get this thing working, okay. So guys, I did some videos regarding AI and artificial intelligence. And one of my most, I think, well done videos that I have made, praise God, is one called The Danger of Artificial Intelligence. It's on my page in the if you go in the home tab you'll see it's like my pinned video, but it basically talks about the it talks about how the rise of artificial intelligence is leading people to want to worship it as a new god. And again, that's literally been said by people who are not believers in God, so atheists and people who will believe in God, of course, because if you're a Christian, you understand that you're going to worship something in this world. So, without further ado, I want to proceed with you guys with reading this article because, and I'm going to show you guys a video as well. But the article kind of sets the stage for what this computer is. So basically, it's not the Terminator yet, but it's basically a few human brain cells. So this is what they're telling us publicly. We don't know what they're doing privately. We don't know whether they have deep underground military bases, the dumbs, and that's where they're probably, testing like top secret material where they're creating clones. And the thing is, if you saw in the thumbnail, the name of this computer is CL1, right? Now, if you type out CL1, CL0, and E, that's clone. So is this on purpose that they named it CL1, or is it actually supposed to tell us that they're about to create human clones, but they're starting, small using the little the little brain cells. So this is crazy. I can't believe it's happening. I feel like we really are living in the end times. And so I'm gonna read the article. It says CL1 is the name of the first commercially marketed computer in which humans' brain cells calculate. And then it says, for the first time ever, there's a commercially available computer with a bioreactor in which human brain cells are connected to a chip and perform computing tasks. The device is called CL1. It comes from the Australian startup Cortical Labs. And then they had taught a prototype a few years ago to play Pong. So you know the video game Pong where you hit a ball across the screen. So the price of this clone, I'm gonna sell it clone one is $35,000, but the life expectancy is limited up to 6 months. So this is a very weird kind of like biological computer. It's only gonna last for 6 months because the brain cells are gonna die. But it's crazy how they're selling it as something like so amazing, but you're spending $35,000. So nobody in the right mind who wants to use this computer, unless you're doing it for research, is really wanting to buy this. This is more for, again, research study, because a person like me or like you want to use a computer for years, not for 6 months. So this is really just a way to sell this because it's like the newest thing and it's like the most shocking thing in the world right now that there is a computer which uses human brain cells. I mean, this is literally like cyborg level stuff. So it says the brain cells were cultivated from human stem cells and are kept alive in the bioreactor by nutrient solution. The device is said to be exceptionally energy efficient. It's just 20 watts of power. So this is like a very low device. It doesn't use a lot of power. Um, Because I guess they're what digital AIs models use, so that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to use too much power. And the bioreactor, the software, the data, and the touchscreen are all included in the CL1. External computers are not required. Input devices, cameras, actuators, and other equipment can be connected via USB. And Cortical Labs, the company that's creating this, says that they believe that the biological intelligence, organoid intelligence, wow, believes that it will overtake the currently popular artificial intelligence. And actually makes sense to me because AI is not the final thing, it's transhumanism. So, organoid intelligence, whatever this is, will actually be artificial intelligence because, or this is in French, I think, but or German. But the thing is that because organic intelligence will overtake human intelligence, well, that's gonna be called transhumanism. So they're telling you the truth of where they're leading up to. So researchers are gonna use the CL1 to emulate about how real neurons process information. Cortical Labs sees this as an ethically superior alternative to animal testing. Right, we don't know what they're actually doing underground, but also yield more relevant results by humans' brains. Um, so there's actually a video that I want to show you, but I want to show you guys the web page. So the web page, and I'm gonna make it a little bigger, but the web page shows you that there's it shows you it's pushing the boundaries of synthetic biology and intelligence. And then it tells you it's a closed loop system where real neurons, so these brain cells that last for 6 months, they interact real time with the software. So this is kind of crazy. And then it says an environment keeps neurons alive for 6 months. Can you imagine if this was a real human being doing that? I mean, this is where they're going to. It's plug and play. There's a touch screen, and then of course it say it's animal free, and then they basically are doing this to study brain function because brain function is very unique. It's not like a computer. Human brains think chaotically to come up with something like different thoughts and stuff. So yeah, so it tells you it keeps it alive. And this is crazy. I can't even believe this is even a real thing. But so they're using code, they're deploying code to real neurons, and they don't use a lab or a device. Um, and and this is what they're telling you that you can do. They use real neurons, and then they install it, and then deploy it, and then it's using like put the Python SDK in order to run it. So this is like really incredible, like to have something like this. As you guys can see, this is what it looks like. And then so it's basically silicon based, and it's using brain neutrons, and so they grow. So these neutrons grow, and then they basically, as they grow, they're able to learn, and then they're able to interact with the environment. This is incredible. I mean, I can't believe this is actually even real. Like I said, so they talk in another page to talk about the research behind it, and they talk about the technology and the challenges of synthetic intelligence. So you guys can read this too, but it's just interesting to know like what they're actually thinking about it. So they're saying they're using it ethically, but again, we don't know what really is going on behind it. So yeah, these are the guys who are behind it: Han Wing Chong, Brett Kagan, David Hogan, Andrew Doherty. So yeah, so all these smart nerds are behind it. A bunch of Europeans and the Chinese guy looks like it, but and then some other people from all around the world. But so the thing is that like, how does this system work? How does a biological computer actually work? So I know there's a papers that they released that you guys can read. I probably won't read them because it's going to be long papers, but they posted it on the Cell website, which is a magazine, and they use neurons in order to give them stimulus, and then these neurons plugged into a computer can learn like how to play games, how electrophysiological activity actually functions. So if you look at one of the articles, it says integrating neurons into the digital system may enable performance infeasible with silicon alone. Here we develop dish brain, and I'm thinking this was a precursor to the CL1, a system that harnesses inherent adaptive computation of neurons in the structured environment. Through electrophysiological stimulation recording, cultures are embedded in the simulated game world, mimicking the arcade game Pong. And um, then the cultures display the ability to self-organize activity in the goal-directed matter in response to sparse sensory information about the consequences of their actions, which is called synthetic biological intelligence. So they give you like this environment, how you have a simulated environment, you have the input, feedback, and then you have a closed loop system. You have the chips in there, then the neutrons interacting one another. I don't even know how it works. I mean, I used to be a system engineer on my previous life, but this is like so complex. And then they do output. So if you guys understand how this works, let me know in the comments. But so they're basically using computational power, living neurons to create synthetic biological intelligence. So they even said this was confined to the realm of science fiction, but now it's maybe rich within human innovation. I mean, this reminds me of the movie Blade Runner, how synthetic and biological innovation created the Blade Runners that were basically supposed to be hunted down. And I want to play you guys also a video from this company because it shows you exactly like what this technology is.
Human brain cells are officially entering the market. Proponents of the technology say it's key to achieving artificial superintelligence.
One way we like to think about this is that if Neuralink is to try to put a chip into a brain, why not go the other way and put the brain onto the chip?
In the future, they envision robots learn and adapt like humans while neuron-based simulations help eradicate diseases.
If we could use biocomputers to power cloud computing, we could decrease the power used by AI by thousands.
Skeptics note the technology is nascent and question its scalability. Others worry about the ethical implications, as studies indicate that lab-grown brain organoids show signs of sentience. Melbourne startup Cortical Labs just launched the world's first commercially available biological computer made of human brain cells. Called the CL1, the biocomputer integrates human neurons with silicon chips to create a so-called synthetic biological intelligence system. The startup says it's suited for applications ranging from medical research to robotics. Cortical Labs first gained attention in 2022 after teaching approximately 800,000 human and mouse neurons on a chip to play the video game Pong. Research published in Cell claimed the neurons learned and exhibited sentience in the simulated game environment. Their new commercially available biocomputer, announced at Mobile World Congress 2025, builds on the breakthrough. Cortical says the way it leverages intrinsic learning capabilities of biological neurons is valuable for drug discovery and developing next-generation robotics. It contains hundreds of thousands of neurons, comparable in size to the brain of an ant or cockroach. Human neurons grow across a silicon chip, enabling them to send and receive electrical impulses. The computer connects to Cortical Labs' biological intelligence operating system. With the platform, users can deploy code through neurons to perform computing tasks. The startup says the neurons learn and adapt more efficiently than silicon-based processors. The CL1 is housed in a body in a box system with internal life support mechanisms. The internal system includes pumps, gas systems, and temperature controls that keep the neurons alive. The neurons have a lifespan of up to 6 months before needing replacement. According to Cortical Labs, the computer uses significantly less energy compared to conventional AI and computing models. The company says it has guardrails in place to address ethical concerns about sentience and consciousness. The brain-powered computer is priced at $35,000, with first shipments expected in June 2025. Dr. Han Weng Chong founded Cortical Labs in 2019.
Now, Pong is merely the start of a journey, a proof of concept that neurons outside of the body can still process information. We now potentially have a pathway to invalidate Moravec's paradox by combining the strengths of both biological systems and silicon through hybridization. One way we like to think about this is that if Neuralink is to try to put a chip into a brain, why not go the other way and put the brain onto the chip?
The doctor turned entrepreneurs sought to develop proto-artificial general intelligence devices.
Have a central nervous system, a brain made up of neurons, and we said, why don't we use the same substrate, the same material that gives us all intelligence, to try to tackle this question of artificial generalized intelligence?
The startup secured $15 million in funding in 2023 to advance its biological intelligence technology. Prior to founding Cortical, Chong co-founded CleanyCloud, a medical device startup backed by Tencent and Ping and Ventures. The founder told futurist Robert Scoble the living tissue-powered computers will drop in price the more production is scaled.
So if you make the stem cells that go into this chip from your blood, they'll have similar properties that you have.
Correct.
If you're allergic to a certain thing, if you put that thing in here, it'll freak out, right?
Yeah.
The CL1 brain computer is also accessible via the cloud. The startup calls it wetware as a service. A growing number of scientists around the world are exploring the use of lab-grown brain cells for advanced computing. They say biocomputers powered by human tissue could learn more efficiently, use less energy, and adapt better than traditional AI. Merging biological human intelligence with robotics and AI is potentially divisive. A key drawback is the uncertainty of brain organoids developing consciousness over time. The likelihood of this occurring remains speculative, and today's lab-grown brain models are considered too simple to achieve any form of awareness. In 2024, Chinese researchers introduced a new brain-on-a-chip technology called MetaBOC. The team from Tianjin University and Southern University of Science and Technology let Shanghai Eye in their lab to capture this footage.
The brain-computer interfaces use real human or animal brains, but our brain-on-a-chip interfaces uses a brain cultured in vitro, just like the organoid cultured in a cell culture dish in this model.
The researchers believe this technology could combine human-like and machine intelligence. This would mean robots and other machines could think and learn more like humans. They've used the hybrid system to autonomously control simple robots, performing tasks like obstacle avoidance, tracking, and grasping. The goal is to create smarter robots that learn and adapt on their own.
If we could use biocomputers to power cloud computing, we could decrease the power used by AI by thousands, actually to the point using artificial intelligence would have a negligible impact. Even Sam Altman says the current situation is not sustainable.
That's Fred Jordan, co-founder of the Swiss startup Final Spark, which offers its brain cell-powered computers via the cloud. The pricing starts at $1,000 per month. These biocomputers are up to 100,000 times more efficient than traditional silicon-based hardware and could accelerate AI development by mimicking human brain learning processes. Universities can rent access to 4 organoids, with some projects receiving free access. Final Spark also offers dedicated organoids for industrial applications. As brain-on-a-chip technology enters the mainstream, Elon Musk's Neuralink is expanding into robotics. The technology could eventually evolve to integrate tightly with Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot. For more on that, check the related video.
All right, guys. So what you just saw, hey, what's up, Zach? Good to see you here. What you guys saw is just a video about the whole CL1 computer. And what's crazy is that, like I said before, if you look at my thumbnail, it's CL0 right? So it's like they named it CL1 as the number one, but it's really, if you read it CL1 as O&E, it's clone. So it's like, so they're telling you that they're creating a clone computer. So it's going to clone human brains, and now it's only using a little bit of the neurons, but in reality, we don't know what they have in stock, basically, in our underground, you know, military, scientific bases. Like we don't know because the deep state is huge, the globalists, all these people who are creating all these things, they're they're evil. You know, right now this company, of course, a public company, the guy seems like a friendly guy. He wants to, you know, use human brain architecture to create computers and to see if computers can work like organic intelligence. But in reality, what that's leading up to is towards the mark of the beast. I mean, what the Bible says is the merging of man and machine. And so what we're seeing in front of us is not only the world's first biological computer with CL1 clone, see, but we're also seeing the beginning of humanity's end. We're seeing that almost we're seeing how humanity is going to basically converge with the machines. And so we're seeing like 20 years ahead of what they're really planning. 20, 30 years ahead of what they're planning, maybe even faster. That's why Jesus has to come back and stop this because what if the Revelation verse that says that, you know, people will want to die but they can't is because they're stuck in a computer simulated simulation and they think they're dying but they can't die because they're living in the simulation. And so a lot of this stuff is it seems cool because it is like the Terminator movies, the Matrix movies, all of it is coming to life. But at the same time, we just don't understand how dangerous this stuff really is and how it's going to be used towards evil when the wrong person takes it. Let's check this out. This video as my last video.
It's a lot of people like Puffy in the music business.
Oh no, Pete
Exposing
Diddy
Puffy
needs to go to
means
prison.
exposing them.
This is the world's first commercial biological computer, running on living human cells. The CL1 computer is the brainchild of Melbourne-based Cortical Labs.
This is where the neurons would be embedded in.
CEO and founder Han Chong says it fuses cell-derived neurons with silicon, creating a new class of AI known as synthetic biological intelligence.
Unlike using artificial neural networks, we grow real biological neurons into networks onto computer chips.
See, they're growing
It sounds like
networks into
science fiction,
computer.
but Han says the CL1 is capable of learning and adapting faster than standard silicon-based AI, while consuming significantly less energy.
We take blood or skin and we can transform them into stem cells, and from stem cells into brain cells or neurons that we then use them for compute and intelligence.
Han says the neurons grow on silicon chip with tiny electrical contacts connecting them to the digital hardware. And it's equipped with an artificial life support system to keep the cells healthy.
We have pumps like the heart, waste feeding reservoirs, filtration units like the kidneys, and we have a gas mixer to
Filtration unit and kidneys. I mean, these people are they're gonna create a real human cyborg soon.
take carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen.
Han says the CL1 could revolutionize drug testing and personalized medicine.
With this kind of technology, we potentially could grow neurons taken from patients with, say, a dementia or with epilepsy, and test compounds and drugs that would then be personalized and tailored to that patient.
But Han believes the CL1's potential doesn't end there, saying it could usher in a new age of AI.
In the short term is we can use it for life sciences, for personalized medicine, for drug discovery and development. But the longer term vision of the company here is to pioneer a new form of computing where we can actually use these neurons that can process information with much quicker speed, with much less data, and with much more energy efficiency so that we can get to intelligence, but without the significant cost associated with it.
CL1 computers are destined for laboratories and research facilities capable of cultivating their own cells. They'll be
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'm getting the creeps here with this CL1 clone, you know, computer that runs on living human brain cells because even though the guy is probably has good intentions, the problem is that the road to hell is paved with what? Good intentions. And so these people don't realize that they're building something that could be really, really detrimental in the future if these things are not controlled and if these things are, in the hands of really wicked people like the Antichrist in the Bible. And so what this reminds me of is really the Matrix simu human battery. It's kind of like where the humans get put inside the matrix and then they become the battery. So I want to show you guys like the storyline of the Matrix and how it says it in the movie because this is like gonna really blow your mind if you
If
haven't
every time
seen
you
the
see an ad,
Matrix.
you just want to.
This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
Is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
We have only bits and pieces of information, but what we know for certain is that at some point in the early 21st century, all of mankind was united in celebration. We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
AI.
Did you guys catch that? Humanity marveled at what they gave. Yeah, the creators of the Matrix that ended up transgender. That's the other crazy thing about the Matrix. It's like it didn't lead people to Christ, it led them into their own reality. So it's just, yeah. And so it's crazy because these humans, we're supposed to celebrate our own creation in reality. But if you look at the movie, The Matrix, I mean, it was really telling us the truth because God and the devil can use things to prove their own points. Like the Bible can be used, of course, by God if used rightly, but the Bible also can be used very wrong by the devil, very wrongly. So the Matrix, even though it was created by very, secular people and then they became transgender, um, there is truth in it. It was a Gnostic movie because it's saying the creator of the world is evil. In Gnosticism, the idea is that Yaldabaoth, which is like the name of the creator, he created this wisdom Sophia, and then Sophia tried to set us free from Yaldabaoth. And so Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, is Yaldabaoth in Gnosticism. And so the movie The Matrix really, once I grew up and understood where it came from, when I became after, long being a Christian, I realized, oh, this is actually a Gnostic movie that's telling you the world is an illusion and you have to break out of it. So that's the devil's game, but God can use it to help, because I use the matrix all the time to help people understand that, we're living in a certain kind of matrix in our own world. Like if we're stuck in the cell phone and the TV, we're living in a matrix of Satan's reality. And so that's not the real. And so this is what the movie basically can be applied as a double-edged sword. It can be used to either get people away from God, like the Wachowski brothers who are now sisters, but it can also be used to bring people out of the fake reality that they've been in and bring them maybe close to understanding, wow, is this reality all there is, or is there a higher reality, which is a spiritual reality? So it's kind of amazing this movie's talking about how we created AI, right? We created AI and then we marveled at our creation, but eventually AI took over. And I believe this is exactly the plan of the devil.
You mean artificial intelligence? A singular consciousness that spawned an entire race of machines. We don't know who struck first, us or them, but we know that it was us that scorched the sky. At the time, they were dependent on solar power, and it was believed that they would be unable to survive without an energy source as abundant as the sun. Throughout human history, we have been dependent on machines to survive. Fate, it seems, is not without a sense of irony. The human body generates more bioelectricity than a 120-volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat. Combined with a form of fusion, the machines had found all the energy they would ever need. There are fields now, endless fields, where human beings are no longer born. We are grown. For the longest time, I wouldn't believe it. And then I saw the fields with my own eyes. Watched them liquefy the dead so they could be fed intravenously to the living. And standing there, facing the pure, horrifying precision, I came to realize the obviousness of the truth. What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop.
One, this is one of the best scenes that I've ever seen in a movie, because it's so powerful. It's telling you the truth of what the Matrix really was, that they were growing human beings so that they could use their energy to kill to liquefy the human beings to feed the living, grown human beings, but it was also used as a means to control humanity. And so, what you're looking at the CL1 Cortical Labs is the beginning of what the devil's system is going to look like, because the Matrix was just telling you exactly what they want to do to us as humanity. And so we really need to know that there is a God, that there's a creator beyond our intelligence and our technology, because all of this, the clone one, the clone computer, is basically growing parts of human beings. It's right now it's neurons. It's growing neurons, which is human brain neurons. Like we grow stem cells because stem cells can become different types of cells, like for neurological cells and liver cells. And so what's going on is that we're using our own, humanity to grow another kind of like type of humanoid creature in a computer. This is exactly what God was been warning us, and also the devil also has been telling everybody what the devil's plans are. So God and the devil are telling both of their people what's going to happen. But what we need to do, and again, I'm going to finish with this, is that we need to understand that we are living in times like no other. I've said this before, the only way we can be free from the control of the machines is if we turn to the organic intelligence, not machine intelligence, but we turn to God. who is the ultimate organic intelligence, who gave us life. We are intelligent beings too, but if we choose to give our control and power to some beings that are more powerful than us, then we basically become fools of fools. We become the most foolish creatures on the planet because even animals would not do that if they knew what they were doing. So the thing is that without God guiding the system of what's being created, we're going to create human machines. We're going to create cyborgs and all these things that Elon Musk wants to create, except this is the reverse of Elon Musk. This is not a chip in a human brain. This is a human brain inside of a computer chip. So you have to see that there's multiple ways the satanic Luciferian globalists are doing these things. They're from one end they're wanting to help people be healthy and have limbs regrown and other stuff, but from another point what they're really doing is they're setting the stage for the ultimate expulsion of the human race as we know ourselves today, so that we could merge with machines and so that we could fly off into space somewhere, according to their beliefs, and leave this earth behind. But the thing is that that's not really, God's not going to really allow that. Maybe to a point that people are going to go to Mars, but God has a plan for this earth, and so we have a plan for this earth. And so to become something other than human, it disqualifies you from salvation, eternal life, because God, through the person of Jesus Christ, died for human beings as a DNA human being. And so this is why I really understand that one of Revelation says you can't go to heaven because you take the mark of the beast, is because you become like this. You become like this, like up top, you become like the silicon machine. And so this is just showing you exactly what they're planning for in the future. So, I mean, they want to connect directly to the brain. And so right now it's like, yeah, a few little neurons, 20 watts, but what are they really developing? Are they really developing clone human beings without us even knowing it? Will demons, invade these computers? Because if demons can invade pigs, they can for sure invade humans, of course. Demon possessed people exist. I've seen them. I've cast out demons from demon possessed people when I was evangelizing, when we're evangelizing. But the thing is that can demons actually enter a biological computer? I think they can, because if demons can manipulate matter, they come from the second heaven. The Bible says it's three heavens. So if they come from a overlaid reality above us and they can manipulate our reality, that's why you're seeing all these UFOs that are actually traveling million, like 1,000 miles per hour and then stop on a dime, which no physical object can do without being destroyed. So that's showing you that it's interdimensional intelligence. So we have to understand is that the whole goal of a creature that hates God and hates humanity is to get us to get stuck within ourselves, and also to leave our humanity, because what makes us human is the heart, the soul, the conscience, all these things that make us human, the imagination and intelligence. We're imaging God. We're not God, but we're imaging God in the way that we do things. And so what we have to understand is that without God's wisdom guiding us, we are all going to go fall into this pit of clones and brains meeting chip, computer connected stuff, Neuralink. We have to be really understanding what our place is in this world, so that we're not caught up in the technology. But, thank you guys for really tuning in. I pray that you're blessed. This is a really interesting discovery that has been, or I mean, revelation that's been given by this company about the first human commercial computer, and it costs like $35,000. So, like I said, it's really not for the regular people. It's more people for researchers, and it is the precursor to the clones that I think could be even being developed right now as we speak, secretly, clones without human souls, of course, like in the movies. But the thing is that what is it gonna happen to our world system? What does it mean to be human? We're gonna be asking that question all the time. But if you know who you are and you're a creation of God, you know your Bible, then you can always stay human, because you'll have the Holy Spirit guiding you to make the right choices. So thank you guys. Share this. This is really important. Share this with everyone you know, because it's important for people to understand what this crazy, nightmarish, lab-grown human brain computer really is. Because it looks like this right now. It looks like this image. But in reality, the idea is to make it look like a cyborg. the to make it look like a to make it look like what Elon Musk is trying to create. You know, he's trying to create a cyborg robots like the Optimus robots like that. You know, this is what the whole goal is to create a cyborg type of humanity. And so if you don't want to look like a cyborg, you got to remain human. So yeah. So yeah, share this, guys. You know, we don't want to become cyborgs. We want to become human, but we want to become transformed humans, which means become born again. It's where the sin nature gets destroyed and where God's nature starts living in us. So God bless you guys, and share this video again because it's really important. And I'll see you guys on the other side. And leave a comment what you think about this whole clone computer.